All right. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Poetry Superhighway Live. My name is Rick Lupert. It is a special edition of our monthly broadcast on Poetry Superhighway Live, where we have the opportunity to learn who it is that won our poetry contest. That's pretty darn cool. I'm really excited to be able to make that announcement today. We've got a couple of our judges on hand who, in a minute, are going to have the chance to talk with us uh, uh, about their experience in judging the contest. I'm going to announce all of the winners, the scores, who won the contest. We've got three winners, and then I'm also going to announce the people who scored in the top 10 scoring positions. So if you happen to hear your name mentioned in those top 10 spots, then you will have the opportunity to join the Zoom. I will post the Zoom link in the YouTube chat, and then you'll be invited to join and read your poem if you happen to hear your name in those top 10 scoring positions. So please, when you do see the Zoom link later on in a little bit, don't join the Zoom unless you've heard your name. There's already someone who has the Zoom link from a previous PSH live event who's in the waiting room. And just so you know, I'm only letting people into the actual Zoom who are in those top 10 scoring positions. So there you go. That's what's happening today. I'm kind of stumbling over my words a little bit here because I'm also trying to simultaneously post all the right things in the right places to make sure that everyone has the right links. I'm just now about to post the link over in on the YouTube page. So in a minute, I'm going to be completely focused on what it is that we're doing today, and not on trying to post things that I'm trying to post. Normally, I'm much more well-spoken than this. I'm just stalling for time now, basically, as I'm posting all of these things. So there you go. All right, this is now posted in Facebook, so anyone there should be able to see the link and click on over to watch it in YouTube. And I'm ready to focus on you, the people. So, all right, we had a ton of people enter this contest, and we're going to get to those numbers in a moment. But more specifically, what that meant is that our three judges, Nancy Murphy, Terry Nickum, and Salvatore Rosseo, all had to read over 1,300 poems over the course of the contest. I can only imagine their eyes started to bleed at a certain point, especially towards the end of the contest. It's pretty consistent stream of entries, I'd say, that came in throughout the contest. But towards the end, like the very end of the last week or so, it was just more and more poems were coming in all at once. And on top of which, on the very last day of entries, it was I don't know, a couple hundred that came in all at it was a lot. So I can't thank the judges enough for all the work that you put into it. We happen to have two of them with us, Nancy and Terry, who I wanted to have the chance to say hi to and get a little bit about their experience in scoring the contest. So first of all, Terry and Nancy, thank you guys so much. You did so much work, read so many poems, and you got through it on time, and it was amazing. Oh, and it looks like Sal is just about to join us as well. Cool. So we have a full roster of all three judges here. Hi, Sal. Welcome. You missed all the important and crucial information I just said, so I'll have to email that to you at another time. But basically, I just said thanks to the three judges we just started for all the work that you did, and I wanted to give you guys a chance, besides thanking you in person, to maybe give some impressions of the contest. We've got a lot of people watching on YouTube right now and who are eager to know if they won the contest, and we're going to find that out very soon. But maybe, besides me saying thank you to you, if any of you, if you have anything you'd like to say, we'll just go in alphabetical order by first name, which I think is fair for some reason. So, Nancy, I guess you're up first. How was the concert? The concert. If you went to a concert, tell us about that. But more importantly, tell us about your experience judging this year's contest.
Send you an email about the concert. First of all, thank you, Rick, for inviting me to do this. And it's been such a privilege to be entrusted with all of the work that everyone sent in. I thank everyone for all their submissions. I laughed, I cried in all the right places. What was interesting, I mean, there was some astounding work. There were times that I just had to print out a bunch to kind of get a handle on it and look at, especially if I saw a lot of work from one person. And it was interesting how apparent that was. If someone sent in two or three, I always, yeah, so the voice is so distinct, all different kinds of styles. But sometimes I would print them out to say, gosh, these are all so good. Maybe I should take a closer look and see maybe one is stronger than the other, trying to differentiate a little bit. But yeah, it was challenging. It was a lot there was a lot to get through, especially in the last week, but it was very instructional and inspirational. And I'm just dying to see how we all three, because it was such a unique experience having two people across the country all doing the same thing, but we were in silent, silos. So it was fun, but I could feel you guys. So I'll stop and let everybody else say something. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's what kept it fair. You guys didn't really interact with each other, and you judged this. You all scored the poems on your own terms, without consulting with each other. Outside of the occasional email that said, "Hey, everyone, you guys are doing a great job," that kind of thing. And I think that kept it fair and even. And you're right, you're from different parts of the country, different sides of the country. Two of you actually from here in Southern Cal. You're in Sherman Oaks.
Mhm.
Nancy, Sal is in New Jersey, and everything that implies. And Terry is also from Southern California, Buena Park. Terry, oh, I just wait. Sorry, I promised alphabetical order by first name. Terry, you're up next.
Okay.
Sal, glad you made it with us. How are things in Jersey, and what was your experience scoring this contest?
Things are good. We're just roughing out a little bit of a storm. Not too bad, but doing good. Um, but yeah, I gotta say that what Nancy mentioned about the voices, it was interesting just to you're hearing this voice, that you're imagining, right? You're assuming that's the voice of the poet, as the reader. And it was interesting to see where you could almost discern where a voice would change, right? Because this was totally blind, and I'm just eager to find out. There were a lot of outstanding works, probably more than 100 that were definitely outstanding and deserving of recognition. And I'm as curious as the rest of the judges to see which of those stood out. And like I said, it was the voices were just pretty captivating, right? There were so many different styles, but the ones that drew you in, whether they were narrative or experimental, long or short, it was very impressionable. And like the rest of the judges, I'm just curious to know who those people are. I want to know them, right? I heard these voices in my head, and I want to hear them read out loud, and I want to know who it is, right? Male, female. Sometimes you're deceived by, oh, who is that? What is this voice? Is it an older person? It is a younger person? There was just this vast realm of experiences that we as judges got to experience through their work. And yeah, it was super interesting. And I'll reiterate what Nancy said. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a great experience, and I loved it. It was daunting, and tiring at times with the volume, but it was a terrific experience, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're a part of it too, Sal. Yeah, you're right. There was quite a lot of material that came in, and I get what you're saying about different voices. I mean, just to give some insight for the people who are watching, and you almost every day received a batch of poems, and you had no idea outside of your own perceptions and reading them whether that batch of poems was from one poet or five poets. Everything I got that day went into one batch, and sometimes it was one poet, sometimes it was multiple poets. I'm sure you could probably tell at certain points, but you're right. It was as anonymous as possible, for everyone's benefit, I think. So good. Glad you got through it. Terry, all right. Letter T. How about you? How was this for you?
It was actually a wonderful experience, and I also thank you, Rick, very much for the opportunity. I think anytime someone judges a poetry contest, I think well, for myself at least, I want to become familiar with other poets that I might not have heard of, and certainly in a case where a contest draws over 1,300 entries, I think that's quite a few poets to kind of, in a sense, get familiar with. And that's a big opportunity. And to see what people are writing about. You assume there's going to be a lot of poems, about the political situation. You assume someone's going to write about their mom. And because I've done both of those things, and what else? What else is out there to write about?
Well, there's the political situation about your mom. That's
true.
That's another.
That's true. Oh, thank you. That's my next poem. Thank you. No, it's a very. I highly recommend the experience. If it ever comes to you, grab it.
Cool. Well, I'm really glad that you guys all grabbed it. I mean, just more insight for people who might be watching. I always, invite people who scored highly in the previous year's contest to judge the next year's contest. And you guys were all somewhere in the top 10 last year. And the other qualifying element was that you said yes. So, that's kind of what did it. That got you the job. You scored highly last year and you said yes. Those are the two qualifications. So I really appreciate that because I know how much work it is. And I am upfront about that at the beginning. So, just to say this is going to be a lot. Not all of it's going to be fun. And it's, and you all got through it, and we have arrived at winners. And I hope that some of them are watching today and can zoom in if we mention their names, so you can hear their poems. And I just want to say again, thank you guys so much. This contest couldn't happen with all the work that you did.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go and return you to regular citizenship of poetry at this point. And thank you again. And I'm gonna get right into giving some statistics and numbers, and then actually announce the top 10 winners. So thank you guys so much. Thanks very much to our judges. Really a tremendous amount of work that they did. So this is what's going to happen now. I'm going to give you a bunch of statistical numbers to give you an idea of where this contest landed relative to previous year's contests. And then I'm actually going to go through the top 10 scoring positions. This is the only place that I'm going to do that. I don't publish a list of the top 10. We have 3 people who won the contest. They will be positions 1, 2, and 3. 4 through 10, this is for your own knowledge, and this is the only place that you'll get to hear that. So I hope you're here and you learn about that. So this year we had 1,378 poems entered. I think that may be the highest number we've had entered ever. just because I kind of, I saved the spreadsheet of scores, and we got to the end of the available numbers, and I had to increase them as more poems come in. So this may be the most successful contest in terms of the number of actual poem entries. Last year, for example, there were 1,253, so 120 some odd more poems were entered this year. Sorry, judges. I know that was more work for you. And which means that what that means for this year is that all of that money, the $1,378 plus an extra $20, which was donated by one of our sponsors, will be divided up amongst the top 3 scoring poets. So the first place winner is going to win $699. That's 50% of all the money taken in plus the extra $20. The second place winner will win $419.40. That's 30% of all the prize money taken in. And the third place winner will win $279.60. That's 20% of all the money taken in. And that equals 100%. Meaning that that no money is being earned by Poetry Superhighway for this. We're not taking any profits. We're not. There's no expenses that we're using some of the entry fees in. 100% of the entry fees are going directly back to the 3 winners as chosen by the judges. On top of which they'll be published as Poets of the Week shortly after this event is over. And they will also be invited they'll be the first 3 people invited to judge next year's contest. If they don't say yes, we'll move to other folks in the top 10. So 1,378 poems were entered this year by 198 different poets. Last year, we had 189 poets, so the number of poets who entered also increased. One of the cool things about this contest also is that we have tons of sponsors who donate prizes every single year. As you may know, if you've entered the contest before, you get something just for entering. It could be a physical book that's mailed to you. It could be an electronic prize, a PDF of some kind. It could be a service. So we have a couple poets who are offering critiques of your poems. We've got, things like that are services that you can take advantage of, subscriptions to things. Every single person, every single one of the 198 people, it actually may be more than that. That might be a number from last year. I think it's actually 213. Forgot to update that number. So 213 people, every single person will be getting something just for entering. It was 198 who entered last year. So 66 sponsors contributed all those prizes. So thank you. If any sponsors are watching, you make this contest super unique with your generosity, with your willingness to send prizes out directly to the contest entrants, especially if it's physical prizes that you might have to send to somewhere else in the world. I know that costs money, and I appreciate you being willing to do that. And it's really cool as a contest entrant, I'm sure, for folks to receive a book or something in the mail or email that just as a thank you for entering. So thank you guys, sponsors, so much. You can see the complete list of prizes on the Poetry Superhighway website. Click on the contest page. It's all there. So how about the numbers themselves? Well, this year, so the judges received the poems every single day almost in batches of all the poems that were received that day. Their task was to send the poems back to me, scored between 0 and 5 points each, using quarter point intervals if they wanted to do that. So the total of the 3 judges' scores equaled that poem's score in the first round of scoring, meaning that the total possible was 15 points in the first round. That's the highest possible score. The lowest possible was 0. I can tell you no poem scored 0 points and no poem scored 15 points in the first round. The average score of the poems was 8.25 points. So the average meaning taking all the scores, the judges' scores, the total of them, and then averaging that out. 8.25 was the average score. That's kind of in the middle in terms of, I think I've been keeping track of these numbers for about 20 years. This is the 28th year of the contest. It's kind of right in the middle. The highest average score was, just looking at my list here, was 11.878, and that was in 2021. The lowest average score was way back in 2007, and that was 5.938. So we didn't have the lowest average score. We didn't have the highest average score. We're kind of in the middle of those two things. So there you go. So how about the very highest score for a poem? Actually did really well this year. The very highest score out of 15 points in this year's contest was 14.5 out of 15. That actually equals the highest score in the first round of scoring that we've ever received. That was equaled back in 2018. The lowest highest score in the first round of scoring was 12 points for a poem, and that happened in 2023. The lowest score in the first round of scoring for this year was 1.75 points. Not too high of a score, but not the lowest score ever. The lowest score ever in the first round of scoring was actually only half a point. So I don't know that 1.75 points is too impressive, but for sure it's not the lowest score ever received for a poem. So there you go. The lowest score was 0.5 points back in 2007. The highest lowest score was in 2014, and that was 4.5 points. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's all the numbers I have to tell you. So at this point, I'm going to now start telling you who scored in the top 10 scoring positions. Now, I'm about to post the Zoom link in the YouTube chat, but please pay attention to this, because it's hard for me when a lot of people join the Zoom and I'm just looking for names that I mention. Only actually join the Zoom if you hear your name mentioned scoring in those positions, because we'd love to give you the opportunity to score your poem. But if your name wasn't mentioned, and then I have a lot of names, it's harder to figure out who it is that I mentioned. And so please, please, please don't join the Zoom. And I also don't want you to get confused and be in the Zoom and wonder why you're not being let in when your name wasn't mentioned. So the Zoom link, which I'm now posting in the YouTube chat, there it is only for people whose names I mentioned. And if you hear your name and you would like to, you're welcome to Zoom in, and I would be we'd love to hear the poem that scored in that position. So here we go, in position 10. Position 10 in the first round of scoring. I keep saying first round of scoring because we did have a tiebreaker for one of the top scoring positions. More on that when we get to it later. 10th place scored 12 points out of 15. Really good score for 10th place. We had 6 people tie for 10th place. Here are who those 6 people are. From Pearland, Texas, for the poem Interstate Love Song, Kendall Kirby. Now that was an easy name to pronounce, so before I get to names that are difficult to pronounce, I want to give the standard disclaimer that I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name, your poem, your city, or anything. I'll do the best that I can, though. So congratulations, Kendall, on scoring so on the contest. Also in 6th place, from Cookeville, Tennessee, for the poem Last Rites of My Father, for my father, Noel Poston. Noel was one of the people who I think won last year's contest, maybe came in 3rd place. So really great to see you scoring in the top 10. Again, Noel, well done. Also in 6th place, from Norristown, Pennsylvania, for the poem inspired by a Bloomingdale's ad, Faith Paulson. Congratulations, Faith. Also in 6th place, from Vallejo, California, for the poem We've Grown Apart, Jeffrey Kingman. Congratulations, Jeffrey. Two more people in sixth place from Wilmington, Delaware, for the poem Snow Fence, David Kaczynski. And finally, in sixth place from Northvale, New Jersey, for the poem My Sister is an Alien, Michelle Moraus. So congratulations to all the folks who scored in sixth place. If you happen to have heard your name, if you're one of those folks, please feel free to join the Zoom, and you are more than welcome to read your poem. By the way, all those folks are from the United States. There are poems from other countries who've scored in the top 10, and we had quite a number of countries represented in or who entered the contest, quite a number of continents as well. So cool that there's such a worldwide reach to this project. Makes me feel good. So that was 10th place. Did I say 6th place earlier? I'm forgetting how the English language works again. That was 10th place. 9th place. We're moving on to 9th place. Yeah, we had 6 people score in 10th place. I got this, I'm pretty sure. In 9th place, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've had 8 people tie for 9th place. The 9th place score was 12.25 points, which is just a quarter point over ahead of 10th place. You can see how close these scores are. So 8 people who have tied for 9th place in the contest. From Viroqua, Wisconsin, for the poem Mama's Hair, Patty Ray. From Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, for the poem At Home in Hanoi, August 2020, Betsy Cullen. From Malibu, California, for the poem American Beauty, Florence Weinberger. From Lima, Peru, for the poem When Nothing Is Left, a regular on our monthly Poetry Superhighway Live open reading, Rosemary Bohm, Rosemary Epaminondas. Rosemary, so glad you scored so well in the contest. Glad to see one of our PSH Live regulars doing so well. Also in 9th place, from New York, New York, for the poem Charlene, Glenn Moss. From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in 9th place, for the poem Caution, Ed Werstein. Congratulations, Ed. Well done. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for the poem Spring Digging, Angel Ellis. Congratulations, Angel. And finally, in 9th place, for the poem from Santa Rosa, California, for the poem Don Quixote Tilting with California Windmills. Great title, Ed Coletti. So that's everyone who scored in 9th place. Well done to all of you. I'm going to post the Zoom link one more time in the YouTube chat, just in case, because I know the chat moves along, and the Zoom link can go away. So there it is. Yeah, sorry, Trish. I'm seeing in the Zoom chat I did say 6 a lot. Trish keeps me honest, which I think I owe her money for that at this point. She's kept me honest quite a lot. Trish Hopkinson watching in chat. All right. There you go. That was 9th place. Moving on to 8th place, which I believe is the correct number at this point. We've had 5 people score in 8th place, or tie for 8th place, I should say, with 12.5 points, which is, again, only a quarter point higher than 9th place. Wait a minute. Before we even get to that, it looks like Angel Ellis is with us, who scored in 9th place. Let's see if we can't unmute Angel and see if she would be willing to read her poem. Angel, are you with us? Wait a minute. Before we even get to that, it looks like Angel, turn down your volume there because we're hearing the word in ninth
Yeah,
place. Let's see if we can't unmute. If you're watching on the YouTube there, maybe just close the YouTube for now because
okay.
no one needs to hear me twice, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I've closed the YouTube.
Very good.
And you want me to read Spring Digging, right?
Yes, please, and congratulations on ninth place.
Well,
done.
you know, I'm no stranger to Poetry Superhighway. Third place in 2018 and in 2020, and I judged in 2019. So here, and I donate prizes. So I'm just encouraging everybody to do that. Here we go with Spring Digging. She left a carrot streaked with earth, freshly pulled. No, a muddy spade held upright by an inch of dirt. She might not have heard him if she'd been digging, might not have surprised him in the kitchen, backpack gaping with electric toys slung over his shoulder. He got to her knife drawer first. She had on gardening gloves when they found her, arms spread to protect her speckled floor from stains pooling on her chest. The back door was swinging. What is set in motion cannot rest. Pale bamboo shoots in the ground, measuring where to dig next. Last summer's ties, white rags on the rusty fence. A few spikes of spring grass and her purple tulip, one petal poised to fall.
Great poem. And thank you for your many years of involvement with Poetry Superhighway. I do remember that you placed in a previous contest and judged the following year, and your sponsorship is very much appreciated. And it's really cool to have repeat customers, as it were.
Thank you.
Angel, thanks for being with us today, and congratulations on scoring so well in today's contest. Normally, when we do, we have PSH Live once a month on Sundays. The next one is November 16th, by the way. In addition to getting reading a poem, it's an open reading, anyone can participate. We'll spend a few minutes talking with you about what's going on in your poetry world. So I enjoy the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better and giving you the chance to talk about what's going on in your poetry world. So there you go. That's want to make sure we get to all the names today, so we're not doing that today, but I'm glad Angel was with us today. We're going to move on to 8th place now. 8th place, 12.5 points, just a quarter point ahead of 9th place. We had 5 people score or tie for 8th place. I think I'm getting the numbers right now. And here they are. From Big Stone Gap, Virginia. For the poem Moonshine, which is a poem that you could probably only write in a place called Big Stone Gap. Sarah Jane Gilliam, congratulations, Sarah Jane. From a place that has a fantastic donut shop, Austin, Texas, for the poem The Color of Rain, The Color of Sleep, Holly Hardy. Congratulations, Hardy. Great to see you scoring so well in this year's contest. From Bellingham, Washington, for the poem The River, Dion O'Reilly. Congratulations, Dion. From Eureka, California, for the poem Roadside Grave, David Holper. Congratulations, David. And from Jersey City, New Jersey, that's 2 New Jersey people so far in the top 10. That's pretty good, Jersey. For the poem Old 89, John Trigonis. So congratulations, everyone who scored in 8th place. I see that Rosemary Epanondas, Rosemary Bohm has joined us. Rosemary, hi. Your poem from 9th place, When Nothing Is Left. We'd love to hear it if you got it handy.
Okay, I don't have to unmute myself or anything strange. Here we go. And thank you. I'm delighted to make the first 10.
Your poem,
It's When Nothing Is Left, for Virginia Woolf. Those first times they would on occasion run into each other, feeling something, substance. She'd noticed it one summer night. The moon had penetrated her own reflection in the large sliding doors. After that, her husband would frequently reach through her for the drink she had placed on the mantel. Gradually, he also lost density. The house filled with mirrors, confirming their essential natures. On Wednesday morning, as he wished her good morning, she grabbed his reflection, walked out through the garden door, and drifted towards the mill pond, picking up stones on the way. Thank you.
Rosemary, thank you very much. Great to see you in this space. I see you here every month, but nice to see you with this kudos attached to it. Thank you for help making the contest an international affair. Great to have Peru represented. You're doing your nation proud.
Thank you. I do 3 nations proud.
They'll take it, I'm sure. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sure I'll see you in future Poetry Superhighway Lives. We have another poet who scored highly in this year's contest, who joining us also in 8th place, Dion O'Reilly. Dion, are you with us?
Yeah, I just tuned in
Cool.
and heard my name.
You heard your name. Congratulations.
Yeah. Okay, shall I read it?
Please do.
The river. The best part is where it bends. Oh, sorry. Doesn't look like I can't do it. Sorry.
Okay, well, sorry it didn't work out, Dion, but at least nice to see your face. That's a bonus, even if we didn't get to hear the poem. So, all right, we are moving on to 7th place now. 7th place earned a score of 12.75 points in the first round of scoring. 3 people tied for 7th place. 12.75 points is, again, only a quarter point ahead of the previous place, 8th place. So many of these poems are really very, very close in score. But a quarter point higher is a quarter point higher. And here are the 3 people who scored in 7th place. From Kailua, Hawaii,
is commonly used
for the poem Watermelon Seeds, Eric Paul Schaefer. Congratulations, Eric Paul Schaefer. From Seattle, Washington, for the poem A Holocaust Glossary, Deborah Bacharach. Congratulations, Deborah. And from Highland, Illinois, for the poem Caveman, John Doro. Congratulations, John. That is 7th place. Before we get to 6th place, looks like we have someone who joined us. Florence, I mute the YouTube before I unmute you here, so that way we don't hear the echo of the broadcast, or close that window, just listen on the Zoom. So Florence Weinberger is with us. Who's scored 6th place.
Make sure you verify.
Looks like we have someone who's joined us. All right, Florence, can you close the YouTube window, because we can't. We're not going to be able to hear your poem if you still have that open. Let me know when you've got that done, and I will come back to you. Looks like John Doro is joining us as well. John, whose poem Caveman scored 7th, tied for 7th place. He's from Highland, Illinois. John, hello. John,
This process can take up to 24
Doyle?
hours. So
Looks like John is not connected to audio just yet. We'll try Florence one more time. Florence, are you there?
information on the 3 different streaming options and more videos on how to create and manage.
Okay, Florence, I'm so sorry. I need you to, I'm sorry if you didn't know how to do this, but I need you to close other sounds on your browser. We can't have you read your poem because we won't be able to hear you with the distracting noises. So,
I'm here, but there's another.
so there you go. I saw that you were here, Florence, but if we can't hear your poem, it's going to be an issue. John, I see you're connected, but there's no sound. Or did you get the sound fixed yet? We won't be able to hear you with the distracting. All right, we're batting 1,000 today in terms of technology. Folks, if you do join the Zoom, you do need to close the YouTube window, or else we will not be able to have you on, because it's 2 sounds that we'll all be able to hear, and that's too many. We only want to hear 1 sound. We're moving on to 6th place. 6th place scored 13 points in the contest. 13 points, as you may know, is only a quarter point higher than 7th place, which scored 12.7 points. We had 3 people score in 6th place with 13 points. From Malaysia, I'm not going to try to pronounce the city or state, but from somewhere in Malaysia, the poet Hang Kwang Sang for the poem The Archivists of Neglect, Final Catalog. Congratulations, Hang Kwang, and also for helping make our contest an international situation. Also in 6th place, and I really mean 6th place this time, not like earlier when I was saying 6th place like a crazy person, from Power, Montana, with 13 points, someone who almost always scores very highly in our contest for many years with completely different sets of judges, BJ Buckley. Congratulations, BJ, for your poem Last Words in October. Well done. Also in 6th place from Renton, Washington, for the poem Physicists Say That Everything Is Happening Now. That title's in brackets, Scott Ferry. Well done, Scott. Big fan of Scott Ferry and his poetry. Really glad to have you here in 6th place. Let's just see if the YouTube link is visible in the chat. It's not. I'm pasting it again. If anyone heard their name in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th place, feel free to join, and please make sure that you're prepared to close the YouTube window so that way we don't get double sound. Thank you very much in advance for that. Now, we're moving on to 5th place, the top 5. Do we need a 5th inning stretch or something like that, everybody? I do. Okay. Only one person scored in 5th place, so I guess they tied with themselves. 5th place, 13.25 points. That's only a quarter point higher than 6th place. That's pretty cool. From Hollister, California, for the poem Mothering Loneliness, Amanda Chiato. Congratulations, Amanda. Well done for completely dominating 5th place all by yourself. All right. 5th place, by the way, if I didn't say, was 13.25 points. Just a quarter point over 6th place. Continuing in that tradition. All right, this is where it gets tricky. In the first round of scoring, 3rd place was 13.5 points. And we had 6 people tie for 3rd place in the first round of scoring. And we had to have a second round of scoring just for those 6 poems to determine who of those people would become 4th place and who of those people would become, which of those people would become the one person to win 3rd place. So all of the people in 4th place in the first round of scoring tied for 3rd place, but the second round of scoring led to them being in 4th place. So take that with you to the bank and get a better interest rate on your next loan. I'm sure that's the only qualifying thing they'll need to know. So we have 5 people tied for 4th place with 13.5 points in the first round of scoring. And here is who they are. For the poem, Ecclesiastical Service Outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm not sure that's a real word, but in case it is, I'm impressed with it either way. From Paisley, Scotland, Corey Bryan. Thank you very much, Corey. Well done. They have different words in Scotland, like ecclesiastical. Also in 4th place, from Portland, Oregon, for the poem A Liturgy for Trinity, Barbara Lamorticella. Well done, Barbara. Also in 4th place, from Madison, Wisconsin, for the poem Runaway, F.J. Bergman. F.J., so glad to have you, your continued participation in this year's contest. Well done. And ongoing Poetry Superhighway stuff. Also in 4th place, from Reading, Massachusetts, for the poem Harvest, which was just picked up by another journal, I understand, Mary Beth Hines. Congratulations, Mary, on scoring so well with that poem and getting it published in another place. And finally, in 4th place, excuse me, I just burped. That wasn't meant to be part of the proceedings, but now it's part of the permanent record. From Bronx, New York, The Earth's Beauty and How She Birthed You, Elise Versella. Congratulations, Elise. Well done. If any of you are in the top, well, the 4th through 10th place, and you heard your name, please feel free to zoom in and you can read your poems. Looks like we have someone zooming in right now. Give them a second to join. F.J. Bergman, hello.
Hi. I'm very glad to be on this show again.
Glad to have you. Do you have your poem handy? I know it's a quick notice.
I do. Runaway. Rumor has it the circus steals kids. Some of those acts take years of training, best started early. Some sideshow exhibits take decades of alteration and mutilation to create those bizarre deformities. And if you don't do what they want, muffled roars remind you that the lions are always hungry. But you believe anything would be better than where you were. You are starved for sparkling sequins and gaudy colors, entranced by the aromas of forbidden midway food, even though the elephant seems sad as the clown's painted faces, and the bear is moth-eaten with mange. You are starved for attention, any kind of attention. You are perfectly willing to become a spectacle, to be shot from a cannon, to leap onto the rosined back of a horse, to fly through the air with the greatest of ease, to have a knot of writhing snakes grafted to your skull. In town after town, once the big tents, rain spattered and sagging, close for the night, and the groaning beasts settle into moldy straw, and the ticket take is totted up and locked away. You silently whisper to yourself, over and over, the slithery syllables of your new name.
Well, that's enough of a poem to last me the rest of the week, FJ. Well done. Great poem. I will be feeding the lions the rest of the week, as inspired by your line in that piece. Glad to see you score so well again in our contest and really appreciate your presence here and ongoing participation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, FJ. We have one other person who has joined all the way from Paisley, Scotland. Corey Bryan is here to teach us how to pronounce that word and read his poem. Congratulations on fourth place, Corey.
Yeah, thanks so much. The word is Heraclesiastical, but it is not a real word. It's a pun on Heracles and ecclesiastical. All right, let me pull up the poem. Twice a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I carve a 4-foot by 3-foot cross out of corrugated cardboard and carry it on my back, letting the pretend weight of it bowl me over as I walk across the baby blue linoleum of the Janesville YMCA. The old men appreciate this. My youth offends their pockmarked sensibilities, but when they see the pagan biology of my spine, my sweat as I carry my burden through their suburban locker room, they forget. They forget the Promethean pains in their liver, the ever-feeding eagle of late-stage alcoholism. They remember their lives before their bodies crumpled like childhoods. They remember fire.
Ooh, that was a hell of a poem. Really strong last line there. When the last line sort of punches you in the gut, it's a good thing for a poem. Thank you very much, Corey. Thank you for inventing that word. I'm glad that it was a word that didn't exist previously, so I had an excuse for not necessarily knowing how to pronounce it. You don't sound like you're from Scotland.
No, I just moved here from Atlanta, Georgia for a master's program.
Oh, that's so cool. What master's program?
It's creative writing at Strathclyde University.
And already you've placed fourth in a contest, like 2 days into your master's program. Well done.
It's a good start. Yeah, thank you very much.
Cool. Well, best of luck with your program. Congrats on doing so well. And I really appreciate you entering the contest.
Thanks very much.
All right, Corey Bryan, everyone, zooming in from Scotland. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was positions 4 through 10, which means we're now going to announce the winners of the 2025 Poetry Superhighway contest. These 3 folks will be published as soon as we're done here as Poets of the Week this week. They will be invited to be the judges of next year's contest. And they'll get some cash for entering, which all of you who entered the contest basically will have provided with your $1 per poem entry fees. Again, 100% of the entry fees taken in are divided amongst the top 3 scoring poets. Third place gets 20%, second place gets 30%, first place gets 50%. And if any of the 3 of you happen to be watching on the YouTube, I'm going to post the Zoom link one more time in the YouTube chat. Feel free to zoom on in. It's always really special if one of those folks happens to be watching and we get to hear one of the actual winners read their poems, because it's just by luck, because I can't let them know in advance. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise it ruins the surprise. In third place, just so you know, just for third place, we had a tie, a second round of scoring, because a bunch of people tied for third place with 13.5 points. Those 6 poems were sent back to the judges, and they scored them between 0 and 10 points. 0 and 10 points, whereas in the first round of scoring, they got to score between 0 and 5 points. So just to make sure that we had some room to make sure there would be a difference in the scores. and one poem rose to the top in that second round of scoring, and that poem ended up being our third place winner. So which means there was a possibility of 30 points. The highest score in the second round of scoring was 26.75 points. The lowest score was 24 points. There you go. So with 26.75 points out of 30 in the second round of scoring, from Barnstable, Massachusetts, for the poem Panikida, which may or may not be the right way to pronounce that, Jennifer M. Phillips. Congratulations, Jennifer. Jennifer is someone who participates almost every month in Poetry Superhighway Live Open Reading. So really happy to see your name here. Congratulations on winning third place. You win $279.60. Watch for an email on how I can get that to you later today. Congratulations, Jennifer. If you're watching, feel free to zoom in to read your third place winning poem. Second place in the first round of scoring. First and second place won first and second place in the first round of scoring because they scored the highest points, and there were no ties in first and second place. In second place with 13.75 points. Ooh, before we get to that, I see Jennifer Phillips is in fact joining us. Give her a second to fully connect. Jennifer, if you are able to unmute and say hi. Points?
I'm just trying to check if I've
Ooh,
got a YouTube.
Before we get to that, I see Jennifer. Close the YouTube window there, if you wouldn't mind.
To do that, yes, I think I've done it.
Good.
Okay.
Sounds much better. Congratulations. Third place.
Thank you. It's called Panikida, which is a Greek word, and the note that goes with this poem. Let me put on some glasses so I can see what I'm doing here. The note that goes with this poem. In the Greek Orthodox Church, the Panikida is a memorial service offered on the 7-year anniversary of death, when the family digs up and cleans the bones of their deceased and removes them to an ossuary. It ends the official mourning period. So, Panikida. Cornmeal gold, this early light on the flagstoned alley's limed tracery. A gust of hot bread as you lift the window, nod to me, and turn away to your stove. Bougainvillea's crumpled mauve litter rustles underfoot. Geraniums in a blue pot beside your sky-colored front door. This is a country too ancient for its dead, allowed just 7 years in the ground to be sat over for weeping and weeds. Then bones washed and packeted, stacked in the common ossuary hoard, collected into forgetfulness and release. Take off your penumbra, come outside. A dawdle of sunlight will flit around your ears like this cloud of midges riding the sea breeze, excited for their brief, free life in flight. Their imperative, mate, feed, frolic. Love emerged from the empty tomb would not now pin you to the grave, and its grim finished off anticipations, the stale sheets, the faltering, pains wizening down the long weeks of your loss. Let it go. Let it rise like steam from today's split crust. Morning into morning. It's an old trope, but the new loaf is fresh and nourishing, shaped by your two deft hands and their knowledge of everything they have touched. Thank you.
Stellar poem, A Nation Too Ancient for Its Dead. That blew me away. I could use a new loaf, by the way. I didn't have much for lunch, so we'll see what happens after this. Jennifer, really, you're a familiar face to me. You're always here on Poetry Superhighway Live. I couldn't be more happy that you won third place in this contest. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. We're going to move on to first and second place. Second place, 13.75 points in the first round of scoring, just a quarter point ahead of third place. One poet in that spot, no ties. From Phoenix, Arizona, for the poem Fate Makes Mistakes, Matthew Feinstein. Matthew, well done. Great poem. I've already read it. Which leads us now, ladies and gentlemen, to first place, the winner of the Poetry Superhighway contest, open parentheses, 2025, close parentheses. Matthew, by the way, is going to get $419.40. This person, first place winner, will get $699. So close to 700. But that's the number of entries that came in. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, we can't announce it yet because Matthew Feinstein is joining from Phoenix, Arizona. Just waiting for him to fully connect to the whole thing so we can hear Matthew's second place winning poem. Almost. Matthew, are you there? Wait, let me click the ask to unmute button.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can. Matthew, hello. Congratulations.
Hi. Thank you so much. I've been entering for a while. Thank you to the judges. And I'll read it really quick because I know we don't know who the winner is yet. Fate makes mistakes. The hostile world caressed my head like a spouse. Still, my hair not charred, nor the world fucked me to bleeding like it had you. So I ask, do tents cry? Do you cry beside an empty sardine can because it's empty? Suffering is wisdom's mother. Are you wise? I thought I saw you wandering Broadway in Second. Your smooth hand sprouted in memory. I pulled over. My car reeked silence. You never came. Please call. Say it wasn't you. Say you were someplace warm in clean sheets, cash flow secure as tanks, transforming families into statistics. Last night, I dreamt I went shirt shopping. You tapped me on the shoulder, said, I have something to show you. Hand locked in mine, you led me out the mall into the bushes, where sat a tent, its gaped maw a factory of intimacy. You said, come in, so I did. Your grass floor littered with rat hides, your kitchen a milk jug stained with the rain of yesterday. You said, pointing to a collection of abandoned linen, come rest, come swirl your sweat-drenched fingers like figure skaters along my rink of a spine. I hadn't declined a woman's touch until now, let alone your touch. Oh, perpetual starver, professional digger of systems offering nothing. Your eyes a puppy's before shelter euthanasia as I left, awoke to my clean suburban bed, my clean suburban house beside my clean suburban wife, her blonde hair tickling my skin like an imposter. Thank you again, guys. I appreciate it.
Matthew, that was such a stellar reading of such a stellar poem. I want to hear you read a lot more poems, is what I'm telling you. Really nice job in the writing and in the delivery of it as well. And congratulations on second place. Kudos to you for that. Think about how you're going to spend your $419.40 and enjoy. And thank you for being a repeat customer. I know you said you've been entering for a long time. So there's a good lesson or example in that for people who, don't always win or don't often win. There's no reason not to keep trying. So congratulations, Matthew. Really glad you were here. You'll be hearing from me later today with more info. Second place winner, Matthew Feinstein. Okay. I think we can do it now. First place. The first place winner scored 14.5 points, which was the only position in the first round of scoring that was a significant jump over the previous position. The previous position, second place, was 13.75. Every other position from second down to 10th was only a quarter point difference. So clearly the judges really dug this poet and this poem. So 14.5 points. This person is the winner of the first place winner of the Poetry Superhighway Contest 2025. They will receive $699, as well as an invitation to judge next year's contest, and will be published shortly with second and third place as Poets of the Week, as soon as I press the button to do that, as soon as we're done. And here we go. From Boca Raton, Florida, for the poem Spilling, Climbing Sun. Congratulations, Climbing Sun. If you happen to be watching in the YouTube, join the Zoom and read your poem. We don't often, or always I should say, have people who actually won the contest end up joining. So we've already had 2. I don't know if we'll be 3 for 3. I don't know if I'm jinxing it just by saying so, but Climbing Sun has won the 2025 Poetry Superhighway Contest. I'm just now clicking publish on the websites, so you should be able to go in just a second and see the winning poems. And within the next half hour or so, you will be able to see. You'll receive the regular Poetry Superhighway newsletter, which typically goes out on Saturday, but we wanted to wait till today to make sure we could include the winners and a couple of other things to let you know before some final thanks. Everyone who entered the contest, you will again be getting a prize just for entering. You're going to be receiving an email shortly today letting you know what prize that you will be receiving. In some cases, it's a physical prize that someone will mail to you. In some cases, it's a PDF or an electronic book or something that you'll just get emailed. In some cases, it's a service where you have to choose something, or someone is offered to critique some of your poems and offer feedback. Or one-on-one sessions. In those cases, the sponsor's only obligation is just to let you know that that's your prize, and it's up to you whether you choose to take advantage of it. You'll be receiving a notice shortly today on being able to take advantage on what your prize is and how to take advantage of it, if it's something like that. Sponsors, thank you again so much for making this contest successful and inspiring people to enter by your many donations. Of course, just by knowing that people will get a prize, even if they only entered the contest for $1 with one poem, they get a prize just for entering. Shortly, you will be receiving an email letting you know where to send your prizes. And again, your obligation, as you agreed to, is to send them out within 2 weeks of receiving. So 2 weeks from tomorrow, we'll say. And the most important thing is for you to email me to let me know that you've sent it. And I am really annoyingly semantic. I don't want to get an email from you that says, I've got it packaged and it's by the door, or it'll be picked up later today, or anything like that. The only email which will get me to mark off that you have sent your prize is when you've actually said, I have sent my prizes. So keep that in mind. I know some of you guys like to respond to every email and say, I'm on my way to the post office now. Well, that means you're not there yet. So please just wait until you've actually sent them to send out the prize. And again, if you're offering a service or a critique or something like that, your only obligation is to send an email to the person letting them know how to take advantage of it. And then it's up to that poet to choose how or whether to take advantage of it. So once you've sent that email, if it's that kind of prize, just let me know that you've done it, and you're off the hook until they take advantage of it. There you go. That's it. Thank you to our three judges, Nancy Murphy, Terry Nickham, and Salvatore Rosseo, for the tremendous amount of work that you did in scoring this contest. It made it fair to everyone. It was a lot of work, especially at the end. I can't thank you guys so much for all that work. Thank you to all our sponsors, as I've said, who made this, inspired so many people to enter by your generosity. Thank you to everyone who entered. You're taking a risk when you're putting yourself out there and entering a contest. As most of us know, when we submit work, when we enter contests, 95% of the time we're not winners. We don't place. So you're putting yourself out there, and I really appreciate you choosing Poetry Superhighway as one of the places to do that. Congrats to our three winners, Jennifer Phillips, Matthew Feinstein, and Climbing Sun. You'll all get emails later today. The poems are now published. I'm going to shut this thing down. I want to thank everyone again for being here. Our next Poetry Superhighway live event will be our regular open reading that'll happen on Sunday, November 16th at 2:00 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Other times and other time zones. And of course, we have many other ongoing projects on Poetry Superhighway. If you haven't been published as Poet of the Week in 2025, click on our submission guidelines and consider submitting to that. Coming up next month, we will be seeking submissions for our annual ebook Free for All. Watch for an announcement on that on November 1st, and it just goes on and on and on. I'm Rick Lupert from Southern California, Poetry Superhighway person. Glad to have you all with us. Thank you so much for being here. Congrats to the winners, and thanks to everyone for participating